Are you thinking about combining finances with your partner, spouse, or fiance? In this video, I'm going to share 4 key steps that you and your partner can take to effectively combine your finances and help build a stronger financial foundation. I'm actually getting married next month. I'm super excited, so I will personally share what me and my fiance are doing with our finances. And at the end, I'm going to share a bonus tip. It's a tip that we share with our clients that can hopefully reduce future money fights and hopefully lead to a lasting marriage. Step number 1, have the money talk. As you know, studies show that couples argue about finances more than any other topic. So this is super important. If you do the heavy lifting up front, you can reap the rewards down the road. Now, there's 3 types of money talk you can do with your partner. There's an easy one, there's a hard one, and there's a fun one. So the easy one is this. So what Marley and I did is we listed down several items that we normally would purchase on a regular basis. So it could be a haircut, shoes, lunch, night out with friends, concert ticket, next car. You can develop your own list. And then we each indicated how much we would spend on this topic. What's a reasonable amount to spend on each of those? And then at the end, we would just share our answers with each other. And it's quite interesting. So for me and my fiance, I wrote down that women's haircut is about $40, and she kindly told me it's actually more like $80. That's probably on the lower end. So I thought, that's interesting. And I wrote down, I typically spend $10 for work, and then she wrote down $0 because she almost always brings her lunch to work. So this is an interesting exercise because there's no really wrong or right answer here. It's more about setting expectations or sharing your own expectations and learning about expectations that your partner has on how much things cost on an unreasonable basis. The next type of talk that you can do with your partner is the harder money talk. Now, this involves sharing actual dollar figures with your partner in terms of how much income you have and how much savings you have, how much debt you have. So I'm talking about like how much money do you have in your bank, sharing that information. How much do you have in your 401k? Do you have any student loans, credit card debt, mortgage, trust that you anticipate to get? So you're going to feel vulnerable in this exercise. And even I, as a financial planner, felt actually vulnerable going into this conversation with my fiance. I was thinking, oh, what if she has more money than I have? Will she think less of me? Or maybe you're thinking about, oh, I have $100,000 in student loan debt. What would my partner think about that? But remember, vulnerability helps strengthen relationships. So I'm going to quote Brené Brown, which famous researcher and podcaster, and she said, vulnerability is about having the courage to show up and be seen. Now comes the fun money talk that you can have with your partner. This involves sharing your hopes and dreams with your partner. And what you can do is you can list down 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals that you may have. So maybe you want to travel to Europe or Africa someday, or get a dog, or you want to donate to a specific charity. And so have fun with it and share that with your partner. Again, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's mainly about discovering what you and your partner value and discovering that about each other. And actually, this will feed into step number 2. Step number 2, create a joint budget. Everybody knows the importance of creating a budget, but actually only few people have a budget. So if you want to get ahead as a couple, create a joint budget. There's 3 main categories that you can think about when creating a joint budget: how much you want to save, how much you want to give, and how much you want to spend. So let's say your combined income after taxes is $15,000. So you'll want to allocate how you want to save, give, and spend that $15,000. So start with saving. Think about your 2 or 3 common goals that you talked about in step 1, and just go ahead and try to fund that. Maybe both of you are worried about retirement, or you want to retire early. So allocate specific amount of money you want to contribute to your 401k. If you talked about having a vacation to Europe or Africa, go ahead and allocate an amount to save per month towards that. If you want to buy an electric car in 3 years, go ahead and add a line item there under savings. Now, the next category that you can discuss with your partner is how much you want to give. The average American gives 3% of their income each year. You can decide where you want to fall in that range. Maybe you want to give 0% or 5% of your income, or 10% if you're in a strong financial position. You and your partner can talk about that and arrive at a figure. The next category, the third one, is how much you want to spend. So between how much you've allocated for saving and giving, and let's say what's left is $10,000 in your household monthly budget, go ahead and allocate that towards various spending categories. The biggest one is going to be a rent or mortgage, followed by, let's say, groceries, household expenses, etc. Maybe have a little bit of leftover money towards entertainment and dining out, that kind of stuff. So save, give, spend, allocate that in your joint budget. This is going to be a living, breathing document that evolves and changes as life unfolds. Step number 3 in how to combine finances with your partner is create a new joint bank account. You don't have to, but it'll make your financial lives much easier. The idea is this: you and your partner can create a new joint checking account where your respective salaries can go into there, and your joint household expenses can come out of that checking account. So it's really clean. If you don't want to create a new joint account, that's fine too. You can divvy up who's paying for what, but we think it's just much easier to manage your household finances if you have a new joint checking account. You can also create a new joint savings account that will house all of your short-term and long-term goals there. You can create different buckets in your savings account that will fund your next trip to Paris or your vacation home if you want to save more money. The fourth and last step that you can take on how to combine finances with your partner is automate. You talked about retirement planning earlier. Sign up for your 401k. Maybe you have more money to save outside your 401k. You can consider opening a brokerage account and do a monthly automated investing. You can check out our video on Fidelity Index Funds for Beginners. You have several short and long-term goals that you and your partner talked about. You can create different buckets in your savings accounts and program to send, let's say, X amount of dollars per month towards your emergency fund, X amount of dollars towards your vacation home bucket, X amount of dollars per month towards your bigger house bucket. Whatever that number is, the important thing is that you automate it. If you budgeted for your child's savings, you can create a 529 plan, depending on the state that you live in, and automate that monthly savings too. You can check out our video on the 9 benefits of a 529 plan to learn more about the benefits of 529. With automating your savings, you can feel much more confident that you are saving towards your goal. Here comes the bonus tip. Money disputes between couples can arise when situations like this happen. So let's say I spent $100 on my comic book and my partner is going to be like, why did you spend $100? Or maybe I saw in the credit card statement, my partner spent $300 on a spa, and I can be like, seriously, $300 on a spa? Why? So one way to avoid these types of money disputes is this: give yourselves a monthly allowance or a slush fund. You can decide upfront how much you want to give yourselves. So let's say you can agree to give yourselves, each of you, $300 a month. And that's yours to spend. You don't have to justify how you spend that with your partner. If you want to spend $200 to watch Taylor Swift in concert, that's yours to spend. So the advantage of this monthly allowance or slush fund technique is you don't have to fight about these little things. And in addition to that, you won't have to feel guilty about making that seemingly luxurious purchase because it's in your budget.